Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good weekend, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous with the mighty Jingles. We're going on a bit of a sightseeing trip today. We're heading to the Epsilon Indi system. It's just under 63 light years away, which in my Diamondback Explorer, the GCU only slightly bent, is one jump, which is nice. Hooray for Guardian frameshift drive boosters. The more alert amongst you may have realised that this is a 4K video. It wasn't originally. This is not the first time I've been to the Epsilon Indi system. I was introduced to the wonders of this particular corner of space by a Danish YouTuber who goes by the name of To Earth Astronomy. A bloody nice chap who one day took me around and showed me some of the more interesting sights that are available to be seen right here in the bubble. As his name, To Earth Astronomy, would suggest, he's more interested in the astronomical side of Elite Dangerous, but he also does a lot of instructional videos, and in fact, it was watching his videos on YouTube that taught me the safe way to supercharge my frameshift drive and catch a boost from a neutron star. Link down below in the video description to his YouTube channel. I can highly recommend it. So, the reason why we're not seeing footage of myself and To Earth Astronomy heading out on a sightseeing trip to the Epsilon Indi system is because it was recorded in 1080p. And since it's only one jump away from the Shinrata Desra system, at least it's only one jump away if you're in my very heavily engineered Diamondback Explorer, I thought, what the hell, I'll go and record it again. Trust me, this is going to be worth it. Won't take long, we'll be there in a couple of seconds. Any second now, and we've arrived. Now, at first glance, the Epsilon Indi system is fairly unremarkable. The system's primary is a K-class main sequence star. There's also a brown dwarf here. But it's one of the planets in this system that we're interested in, or more specifically, the moon in orbit around one of these planets. The planet's called New Africa, and there's the moon, Mitaran Hollow. And the thing that makes this moon remarkable, and probably the reason why there are so many fleet carriers sightseeing around the moon, is the moon's orbital period. It has an orbital period, well, basically of 0. There it is. So what's an orbital period? Well, an orbital period is the length of time that it takes a planetary body to complete one full orbit of whatever it is it's orbiting. So in this case, the length of time it takes Mitaran Hollow to make one orbit around New Africa. And according to the system map, it's 0. Well, it's not actually 0, it's just that in the system map, orbital periods aren't measured in anything less than 1/10 of a day. So it's less than 1/10 of a day, which is still bloody short, and definitely worthy of further investigation. The thing is, it's not that easy to investigate, because the orbital period of Mitaran Hollow is so incredibly fast, as you'll see when we get a bit closer and we try to actually land on Mitaran Hollow. It's one of the more convenient tourist spots in the galaxy because it's only a couple of hundred light seconds away from the system entry point. Before we get there, however, and you actually clap eyes on what it is about this system that makes it so remarkable, I just want to show you something else by way of contrast. This is me parked in my SRV on some planet in the arse end of nowhere. I can't remember exactly where it was, it's not really important. I was gathering materials for engineering when I realised, oh, the suns are coming up. I was just in time, this is a binary system, just in time to catch a double sunrise. So I stopped, switched to the external camera view, and went away to make lunch while I left it recording. Now you can just about see the brown dwarf in the distance there, very, very slowly inching its way above the horizon. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to speed things up. So what you're looking at now is 10 minutes of footage compressed down into about 20 seconds, accelerated by a factor of 20, just so you can actually see the movement of these two suns appearing over the horizon. And remember, I had to speed this up by a factor of 20 in order for you to be able to actually witness any visible movement without sitting staring at the monitor long enough to fall asleep, and actually witness the beauty of this double sunrise in this system somewhere out in the arse end of absolutely nowhere. So remember, in order for you to actually see anything moving, I had to speed that particular piece of footage up 20 times. Now watch what happens when we get closer to New Africa and Meteoron Hollow. We should soon, if it wasn't for all the drive plumes of the ships ahead of us, be able to see the disk of New Africa itself. It's an Earth-like world. It's very pretty, particularly when you see the night side lit up by all of the cities on the surface, and there it is. And Meteoron Hollow should be becoming visible and visibly moving right now. Remember, I haven't accelerated time here or anything. You're not watching fast forward video footage. The moon is orbiting that fast. So you can land on Meteoron Hollow, and that's what we're going to try to do here. But there's a right way and a wrong way to do it, because it's moving as fast as it is. So first we're going to try to do it the wrong way. So I've swept around New Africa. We're approaching Meteoron Hollow from the other side, and we're chasing it. We're trying to catch up. I'm doing more than 1,000 kilometers per second. And the moon's actually getting away from me. You see, the problem here, it's not just that the moon is moving as fast as it is. I mean, that's a problem. But the closer you get to New Africa, the more your frameshift drive is forced to slow down in order to compensate for the planet's gravity well. Which means if you're trying to do a traditional approach, you're never going to catch that moon. It's always going to be getting away from you. It's just moving as quickly as it is, and it's so close to the planet that it's orbiting that the planet's gravity well becomes a factor. The correct way to attempt a landing on Meteoron Hollow is to run into it face first. Which sounds suicidal. And the experience of doing it certainly has an extremely high pucker factor, but because of the way engines on starships work in Elite Dangerous, it's actually perfectly safe. You see, starships in Elite are powered by a thing that's called a frame shift drive, and it's called a frame shift drive because it's a drive that shifts your frame of reference. So at the moment, my frame of reference is the planet New Africa there, and as Meteoron Hollow clears the Terminator and starts charging right towards me at full speed, it's looking kind of scary. But as soon as I get close enough to Meteoron Hollow, it will shift my frame of reference to Meteoron Hollow, and I'll effectively be in orbit around... Oh shit. And there it is. That's where it just happened. I got close enough to Meteoron Hollow right before it smacked me right in the face that my frame of reference shifted from the planet it was orbiting, New Africa, to the moon itself, Meteoron Hollow. And now, my magical space engine, because let's face it, that's what it is calculating my movement relative to the moon rather than the planet that it was orbiting. In fact, still is orbiting. And there it is. Oh, hi. Didn't expect to see you again so soon. Holy shit, would you look at that. This is just ridiculous. What do you suppose the realistic consequences of having a moon orbiting as quickly as this would be? Because I'd imagine that this moon would basically be dragging a tidal wave across the surface of the oceans of that planet. It's moving as quickly as it is. The moon has an ice cap as well, by the way, which is something I didn't notice on my first visit. Also, this moon is geologically active. There are silicate vapour vents on the surface, which, if you were inclined to do so, you could scan with a composition scanner for some discoveries, assuming you haven't come across silicate vapour vents before. Earn yourself some codex vouchers. Not that that's particularly lucrative. I think the most I ever earned from a single codex discovery was 50,000 credits. Chump change, basically. Right, Keeping an eye open for New Africa appearing over the horizon. Let's put the old Diamondback Explorer down and get ready to take in the view. So I'm going to need to look for a decent viewing position. Where is New Africa anyway? You'd think something that big wouldn't be hard to miss. Oh, it's other side. Okay, we'll worry about that in a moment. We've got plenty of time for sightseeing. There it goes. And there's the eclipse. Yes, this moon has an eclipse like once a minute. As New Africa passes between Meteoron Hollow and Epsilon Indi itself, and the eclipse does not last very long either. Okay, so I know that New Africa is going to be appearing over the horizon in that direction, so that's the way we're going to face. We're going to put this old bird down. There we go. And stand by to enjoy the view. You ready? Don't worry. The good thing about this place is you don't have to wait particularly long for a planet rise. You get one about every minute. Holy shit, would you look at that. It's difficult to... Oh, there's a ship moving past. I'm not sure if it's in orbit around us or in orbit around New Africa, but holy crap, look at... Wow. And there's the sunrise. And there's planet set. One of each every minute here on Meteoron Hollow. And an eclipse every minute as well, which we didn't really get a particularly good view of that time around, but which we can definitely do when New Africa completes its circuit. Actually, that's the trap that you fall into, because it looks like New Africa is moving quickly. It isn't. Well, it is, but not by comparison to New Meteoron Hollow, sorry. Let's see if we can catch it again as it comes over. And this time, watch the eclipse. It'll be back very, very soon. Here it comes. Any second now, it's going to eclipse the sun. There it is. The eclipse only lasts a couple of seconds because the moon is orbiting as quickly as it is. So, you know, blink and you might miss it. And there it is. Fastest eclipse in the galaxy. This place really is amazing. Meteoron Hollow orbits New Africa at a speed of around about 876 kilometers per second, which means it completes an orbit of New Africa every 1 minute and 26 seconds. So a day on Meteoron Hollow is 1 minute and 26 seconds long. And in every local day, every minute and 26 seconds, Meteoron Hollow experiences a full solar eclipse that lasts exactly 10 seconds. It is one of the most remarkable places in the galaxy. And it exists, apparently, due to a bug which was discovered years ago by players, and which also apparently was fixed by Frontier Development. And then they unfixed it when players complained, because this place was just so incredibly unique, and they wanted it back. And I think that's great. And I hope you've enjoyed the visit, because that's pretty much it for today. Hope you all have a good weekend, and as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.